Hey, everybody. You're about to join the 2022 card set Super Bowl for Strat28, 2018 Strat Football League. The matchup is between the Baltimore Ravens, the number 2 seed in the Holmberg Conference, and the Cleveland Browns, the number 2 seed in the Crowley Conference. Just waiting to get these guys to get connected. They did play in the regular season, and Cleveland was able to win 26-13. So Zeb's won a championship before, um, so he might have a little bit of edge there in experience. But Michael's put together a heck of a team. So we'll just see what happens. The dice will decide what goes on. The coaching will have an impact, of course. Both teams are average. Cleveland running a 4-3. Baltimore running a 3-4. So congratulations to both coaches for making it here. Let's see what happens. Kickoff is 8 yards deep in the end zone. Baltimore will get the ball first. They are led by Derrick Henry as their halfback. Hope we're not locked. Wouldn't that be something? Oh, there it goes. Guys, don't scare me like that. Don't take so long to click the button. It freaks me out. So here we go. Baltimore gets the ball back. Pat Mahomes is the quarterback. Derrick Henry's the running back. Tyler Lockett and Christian Watson are the receivers. Cam Hayward's the tight end. Connor Hayward, excuse me. Cam Hayward is the defensive end. I think they're brothers. Inside run to Derrick Henry, dreaded 5 right off the bat. Michael Reeves uses the dreaded 5 as his moniker. Nom de plume. A lot of action went the way of Giovanni Ricci as far as flat passes. Crossing pattern to Lockett, covered by 4. Extra long gain. It's a long gain. White dice 6 beats the cornerback's 4 rating, and it goes 41 yards into Browns territory. First down. There was a chance for a sack on that play. Robert Hunt was able to hold off Deron Payne. Let's take a look at that. Offensive line for the Ravens, 4-7, 5-7, 0-3, 5-7, 4-7. So all 7s except for the center. Center was kind of weakly carded this year. Quick into Giovanni Ricci against a run call. Guess wrong. It's a white die 6 for 10 yards, and now they're in field goal range. And there's that man Ricci. He's going to be heavily involved. He caught a half dozen passes in their regular season matchup and has been featured in the playoffs by the Ravens. The pass rush. This is what hurt me. I got eliminated by the Browns. J.J. Watt's a 5-12-1. Payne's a 4-12-1. Off tackle draw right. And the defensive end's going to make the play, J.J. Watt. So 5 against a white die 4. So they have a lot of pass rush coming from that side, but there's 7s there for the Ravens, whereas I have like 5s and 4s. Grover Stewart's a 5-5, and Danico Autry's a 5-8. Inside run draw to Henry. Guess wrong. He's going to pick up 5, set up 3rd and 6. But all of those pass rushers are met up with against 7s. So you need somebody coming as a blitzer, either linebacker or free safety, to get the 0-3 center rating involved. Baltimore stays in a halfback blocking back formation. The containment for the linebackers. Uche's over there, 0-0-11-4. That could be a target. Oh no, he's replaced now. Baron Browning comes in. C.J. Mosley is a 6, 5-6 against the run. 6 against the run. Uchenni Nwosu is a 4-5-11 with a 5 asterisk. So those linebackers can come in because the blocking back's only a 3 and the center's only a 3. So Look for that. You'll need to bring some pressure during the game. 3-5 showing blitz. Flare left to Ricci. I told you that guy's going to be involved, but there's 2 men in the zone. It was a white die 4. So that'll bring out the field goal unit. Linebacker in zone +1 or +6. So that if the 0 didn't have help, that would have been a first down. Brandon McManus comes down. Kick is up. Kick is good. And it's 3-0 Ravens early. Oh, we got Tim here. Oh, let's go. What's up, Tim?
Hey, how you doing tonight, Dennis?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for joining. I'm glad that you're able to jump in here.
Yeah, I didn't want to let you fly solo. Pretty good matchup. A couple of real life franchises that probably don't get along too well, huh?
Yeah, exactly. They're this time they're in different conferences instead of the same division, so they get a chance to meet in a very important game. So I was pointing out, here we go, off tackle left to Miles Sanders. Double team on Pridge's short gain. Sanders. Michael, of course, eliminated me last week, and one of the main features that I thought was really effective, besides him connecting on a lot of deep passes, was his pass rush. But Zeb's got 7s there, where I have like 5s and 4s. So unless he brings those linebackers, the offensive line should be able to keep Patrick Mahomes upright.
Yeah, I saw that coming in. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Baltimore allowed like 18 sacks, and Cleveland had over 60. So, and I'm sure you know this too. If you're going against 7s, it's hard to beat them. But if you've got a 12 against them, you've got a chance. And if you bring the free safety, the chart changes.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. We saw a lot of flat passing from Mahomes to his backs, especially Giovanni Ricci, and that he's already got a couple catches, maybe 3 targets even so far.
Yeah, you're aware of the fact Michael's got Mahomes in Autumn Wind, and I have him in Samifa. So you kind of learn to play with the other guys you've got. You know, everybody knows, long and short are great for Mahomes. But for instance, I didn't have a great offensive line this year. Protection was poor. So I had to throw a lot more flats than I normally would. And, that's one of the good things about a coach like Zeb. He's going to adapt to what he has, but you get a feeling he's probably going to do a lot of short passing in most games that may not come about in this game just due to Michael's great pass rush.
Yeah, and speaking of great pass rush, Zeb is one of the best blitzers in the game, deploying pressure, and he's got linebackers that can bring it. He's got Matt Juden, 5'6", 12'9". Pratt's a 6'4", on the other side. Leonard Floyd's 4'4", 12'2". So those linebackers, he brought them quite a bit on those first couple of plays, bringing up a 3rd and 5 here. Let's see how Michael responds. He stays in a base formation, and Zeb is not showing blitz.
Yeah, enough. I think I noticed Zeb has a couple of 6-rated linebackers against the run, so he's able to stop you on 3rd and long with the run contain.
Yeah, here we go. Sideline left, Devonta Smith, single covered, nobody there. Nice pick out by Michael there. Found the open zone. Guess right, that's an incomplete. So big coaching played a part there. That's one thing that I, as a opposing coach against Zeb, I noticed that you really have to hit the flats to try to keep him honest, because otherwise he'll bring those guys double teaming or blitzing, and you're in trouble.
Yeah, and Zeb calls run enough to deter you from getting really reliant on the draw play.
Crossing pattern to Rashid Shaheed, correctly double teamed, and that'll be incomplete. Hey, I don't know if you're up for it, but would you mind doing the play-by-play and I be the color guy?
Doesn't matter either way.
Whatever. I'd like that. I like your play-by-play style, and then I can do my jumping in and getting excited.
Yep.
So,
and jump in at any time. But yeah, I'll do that. No blitz, 3-4. Miles Sanders is one of those steady guys. You can get a couple of yards guessed right for him. So it's one of those guys that's good on 3rd down. One of the things I've noticed looking at Cleveland, they don't have anybody to block the asterisk pass rusher.
Keeps it on the ground there. That's
yep.
Yeah. That first down, the previous play, where you mentioned about the linebackers run rating coming into play. If he wouldn't have had that linebacker there, it would have been a 10-yard gain um, because of the defensive end 4 rating, but instead he got the -1.
See what formation he uses. He went with a basic setup here, and based on the field position, I stay in a running formation myself. I stay in something where single back guess right isn't going to come up, but here he changes it up, goes 3 wide receivers.
Yeah, I like that too because you can get first down based on your offensive line rating.
And it's third and
It's
5 in your opponent's territory.
Yeah, and it's tougher though when he has a nose tackle 6 like he does.
Yeah.
So,
And Allen
so
definitely is a guy that can run. So
yeah, I don't think Samaji P Ryan is very good.
I believe,
Well,
yeah,
it's okay, guess wrong.
yeah, I think he's a guy that has good flat guess right yards, if I'm not mistaken. That's kind of why I saw him play in a few leagues. Yeah, he's 7.6, 38 catches, 7.6 per catch. So he's a guy that can get you 5 yards guessed right if it comes off his card, probably. So flat left to Njoko. He's left the guy there. Michael fishing again to see if the left linebacker might be gone, but he gets 7, so don't get to see a 4th down attempt. We're midway through the first. Baltimore up 3-0.
Yeah, I think he would have punted there with containment in effect. So
Yeah,
yeah,
if he'd have picked up a couple of yards, though, I think he goes for it there. Don't you think?
true. Yeah, I think you're right.
That's why I would have probably stayed in a running formation there. Just make the defense think that you're going to play 2 downs there. So.
Yeah, and I like that throwing at Judon, keep him home.
Absolutely. You probably, if you watched the autumn wind game I had against Claude, I threw a Judon all game long. It was like I do not want to just let him run unfettered and into my backfield, sacking my quarterback. So.
Absolutely.
2nd and 3. Here's Sanders, 7. First down. 5 carries, 27 yards. Sanders has a lot of carries. He's got like 27 unfatigued, so he's still got 22 left.
In these championship games, in these playoff games, big plays and turnovers play such a big part. We saw Zeb get the majority of his yards on a short pass that turned into a 41-yarder to Tyler Lockett. So we'll see if big plays play a part here. This is a nice, long, slow drive for Michael, but you don't want to depend too much on those because Zeb's going to stop you at some point.
Linebacker Sanders, nobody there, nobody behind him, 17 yards.
Nice call.
And we've talked about it before. It's always great in a playoff game to get the first score, but if you're going against Mahomes, giving up 3, you don't feel bad.
Yeah, that's like you made your stand. So
yeah, I'll give them 10 field goal attempts, for the most part.
So not going to a full house here. Say two tights and 2 wides.
Yep. You feel like the run key's a little less with Josh Allen, but you don't want one of those big -6s here. If you decide to run Allen and it's not a key, so.
Oh, I forgot about those Josh Allen in runs. Yeah, that's going to play a part today. Here we go.
Sanders loses 4, and now you're back into the situation where you can throw flat again. So you at least get that, even though you'd rather probably have the ball at the 8.
In their regular season matchup, which Baltimore won 26-13, Sanders and Josh Allen were the only 2 to carry the ball. 21 times for Sanders and 10 for Josh Allen. I'm sure some of those came on must runs or kneel downs at the end.
Guess wrong, incomplete. There's where Josh Allen hurts you. He's not a great guess wrong quarterback. 16 hits, where you've got guys, that are in the lower 20s. So that's where Josh Allen hurts you. He's a really good guess right quarterback, though, when you add in the must runs.
Yeah, that's always, I thought something, in Russell Wilson's prime, I always wanted Strat to address that. Leave me some must runs, guess wrong, but it just never happened.
Yeah, I agree with that. So we got a 3rd and goal at the 12. if the linebackers don't stay at home, it doesn't matter if they're sixes, and Josh Allen on an end run would not be facing containment. So keep an eye on Josh Allen.
See Keyshawn Vaughn in the game instead of P. Run this time.
That's interesting. I wonder if he's a better blocker. Yeah, he's a 4 pass blocker, and Sanders is a 0. So
it's a little Matt Judon insurance there.
Yep. At least give you a shot.
And Njoku on a flat's an interesting option.
There's a double team incomplete. So he will try to tie it with Ryan Suckup. It's up. It's good. 3-3. What year is this for S28?
It's at the 2022 card set.
No, I mean,
oh, how many years have we played? I'll take a look at that. I think it's our 5th or 6th year.
That sounds about right. Okay, showing blitz here on first down. Derrick Henry in. He will use Alexander Madison, but it seems to me he mostly uses him around 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, and inside the 5. He had 5 or 6 touchdowns, but otherwise Henry's your horse. 27 attempts before he hits fatigue, so he's here for a while. So Michael averages about 4 sacks, and Baltimore only allows 1. So if you're getting to 3 or more, you got to feel like Michael would be happy. There's a guest right loss of 2, Connor Hayward. And let's see, Mahomes is 3 of 4, 49 yards, most of it on the big play I missed earlier. So we got a 2nd and 12 now.
So this is actually our 7th year. So
cool.
It's funny how time flies.
Yeah. Super Bowl 7. Here's a fumble chance, but it doesn't come up. Henry gets him out of contain with an 8-yard pickup. Henry's really good flat this year.
Awesome. Yeah, he has that one column where he's like 4, 5, and 6. He's gets nothing, gets wrong or right. But besides that, he's got his usual impactful plays on the edge.
3rd and 4. Staying in the standard set and no blitz being shown here. Short Lockett. Comes off his card, but it's incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th and 4.
So both teams kind of feeling each other out at this point.
Yeah. It's a nice punt return. Mark Jones.
If you get that DDR surface error, like I just got because I was opening up an Excel file to check our career records, just hold the enter key down. You'll eventually come out of it. A lot of people will just disconnect because they see an error. And it is kind of, well, it's taking a little longer than usual, but let's see.
Yeah, I'm watching the game on like a join as a spectator, so.
Perfect. Good. Keep us up to date. So how far did that punt go?
There's a guess wrong. Mike Williams, he's got a long gain, and he's got 36 big yards. So after the 49-yard punt, bang, 19-yard punt return, and then 36 yards on the catch by Mike Williams. First big play for the Browns. And they're at the Baltimore 25, looking to take the lead late first quarter.
I'm trying to get out of my loop. I'm like stuck here. Hold on. Keep doing we're doing a radio play as we have technical difficulties here.
Yeah, that's fine. And no blitz being shown. 1st and 10. Trey McBride in as the second tight end. Doesn't really get a big bump for going to a blocking back since McBride's a 0. Here's a right flat to McBride. And he's got 9 yards. He's going to set up 2nd and 1 at the Ravens 16.
Okay, we're finally back in on the visual. Trey McBride, what a nice pickup that was. I think he got him pretty late, too.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting his guess right flat might be better with his yards per catch, but he didn't have very many catches. So I'm glad Strat kind of showed some restraint there. But he averaged like 12 and a half yards a catch, roughly, I think. Second and one. I'm still not showing blitz. It's going to be a line, but guess wrong. Sanders, he got the one.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but we haven't seen a Josh Allen carry yet, have we?
We have not. And some of those, you kind of wonder. He's got 7 in runs. And you kind of wonder if you go into 3 wide receiver, 1 running back set, you don't really want to waste them if you've got a chance at white die guess right and also run contain. So we might see them come in bunches. Here's Miles Sanders getting 1 guess right. That's a good guess right and run card, though. You don't see a whole bunch of -7s, -6s, and such. You got the big -8 on 8, and then you've got a -4 on 5. But that's a card you don't mind occasionally having it come up guess right on end run. Short to Devontae Smith. That's a 12-yard pickup down to the 2.
So Zeb playing the let me guess run here. Take away the end runs and then try to, if you land either on the 4-minute zone card or one of those blanks on Josh Allen's card in the middle.
Yep. And with Sanders running well so far, kind of trying to stop the run and maybe even thinking about Josh Allen possibly, getting one from there because that was close enough. He could have gotten into the end zone. So we do see the full house here.
Look for a run to Vaughn. Oh, he goes to Allen.
Got one of them.
I think he wants to save those Miles Sanders carries. So I'm still going with either Josh Allen or Vaughn on this one.
Yeah. I wonder how many touchdowns Vaughn had during the regular year. Like I say,
I will tell you momentarily.
Trying to get an idea of how often.
Yeah, he had no touchdowns during the regular season. He had one against me last week.
Interesting.
Samaje Perine actually had one.
Yeah. And he's in for a touchdown. Now, it would not be against a good coach to maybe stash a play or two that you don't show in the regular season that you do use in the playoffs. I definitely am a fan of doing stuff like that.
Yep. If you check the regular season scouting stuff, you see, Vaughn never got a carry. So you kind of ignore him, and then next thing you know, he's in the end zone spiking the ball.
Yep, and that's why you want to self-scout yourself from time to time. You're like, okay, if I was coming up with a game plan, I would never be looking for this particular play and, try to figure out a spot to use it. So Baltimore got the opening kickoff, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they're feeling no pressure really, but they're feeling a little anxiety about wanting to get on the board. They're at least not have a 3 and out here. Down 7, early second.
I have an interesting fact to it. I'll tell you next time Cleveland's on offense.
A Sheldon Cooper level factoid?
I don't know. Not quite that significant, but
okay.
just noticed something.
Okay, factoid time.
Oh, okay. Well, Cleveland is using Rashid Shaheed, as we saw. He was correctly double teamed. He's like inserted into the starting lineup over the regular starters because in the regular season he only had 7 catches, whereas Mike Williams had 38, Devonta Smith had 58. So we're seeing a little bit of a change up here in the big game. One of those yardage guys.
And Mike Williams had a big play for him. Here's a long game, 37 yards. Tyler Lockett. Lockett already was 78 yards with 42 minutes left in the game. So
it's not often that you catch a pass for 37 yards and your yards per carry, goes down.
Yeah. That's
or yards per catch, excuse me.
Yep. That's a first world problem to have.
For sure.
Cleveland's back showing blitz. They weren't showing it earlier in this possession, but here they're showing blitz again. We got a right flat. Derrick Henry's got 3. Gets them into better field goal range if it were to come to that.
And he brought Uche in that last play, leaving the left flat open.
Interesting. McManus has crazy range. He's like 2 through 7 or better from long range. but he misses an extra point or two, and he's not 2 through 10 on a couple of his short ones. It's like 2 through 9 and 12. So not a big deal, but he's really got the leg for the long kicks. 2nd and 7 showing blitz. It's going to be another right flat, 6 over there now, and he loses 2. That's actually a big play.
Yeah, he left Uche home that time, who had the coverage responsibility on Henry. Zeb may be thinking he was going to go Uche on the line of scrimmage again. It would have been a 6-yard gain instead of a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, so we'd be looking at 3rd and 1 instead. It's 3rd and 9. So small little plays make a big difference sometimes in a game. That may save several points.
I think that's one thing that differentiates a good coach from a great coach is not being predictable. And you have a good weapon, you don't use him all the time. And I think Michael's gotten much better at that lately.
Yeah. And there's a 3-yard pickup. I don't know if the same play would have been ran, but we got a field goal attempt instead of a first down. So good defense by Michael, and it's 10-6 Browns. Touchback.
So this is his normal setup with Mike Williams and Devonta Smith. He's taking Smith out of the game and putting Rashid Shaheed in there to try to, if he gets a guess wrong run, he'll get a much bigger yardage hit.
Yeah, he's probably with 17.4. He's probably got like 6 chances of long game short. I'll check it here in a second. Here's a short to Njoku, incomplete. Got off his card, but it's incomplete. We'll take a look at Devonta Smith, and
he's maxed out, I think.
Yeah, he's only got a plus 40 on 12 and a 38 on 2, and
so he's interchanging, and Smith is back in there now.
Yep. Maybe on first downs when he's expecting a little higher percentage of runs, or he may be going to the better hands guy, Smith, with the chains kind of big behind the chains on 2nd and 10. There's a possibility he wants the guy that'll get the first down instead of a possible drop. Some blitz coming, short to McBride. 2 guys coming on the outside, and he's got a short gain. Beats the defender 16 yards.
Yeah, the defender was on the line of scrimmage. That's the Judon.
Yeah,
it was a white die 4. So if he wasn't bringing Judon, that would have been incomplete. So that, maybe he's using Devonta Smith kind of as a tell. Like, here, I'm going to flash him at times and get you start to think about, do I need to double him? Is he going to go there? That kind of stuff.
I see that a lot at watching the NFL, with the exception of T.J. Watt. He's coming to hit the quarterback every down. There's a big sack. Roquan Smith. T.J. Watt's one of the few guys I watch that he's coming every down. And when Lamar Jackson runs those like delay handoff things, he is going for, he doesn't care who's getting the ball. He wants to hit Lamar and get them out of that. That's one of those, to me, differences in the NFL versus Strat is, you don't want Lamar Jackson getting hit 18, 20 times by T.J. Watt. So you're going to probably take that play out of your playbook for certain down distances, because you just don't want to take those hits if you're, Lamar Jackson, your league MVP, is your quarterback. So
defense uses a timeout there. I'm not sure. I think they were in a 3-3-5, but it's fine to be in this down and distance, I believe. So let's see what that was about. Might have been a misclick. The sack was credited to Roquan Smith, but caused by Leonard Floyd. 13 against the 4. 59%, 98% chance of a sack, random 59. If it would have been Smith's test, his test was 53, and it would have not been a sack. So, okay, so he comes out in the 3-4. He does replace
Here's Josh Allen's first run, I think.
He replaces the nose tackle, so you get the 6-0 out, DJ Reader, and in comes Javon Hargrave.
Hargrave's a killer pass rusher. 12 out of the nose tackle slot. He's got 7 end runs with Josh Allen. Like I say, I think this is where he uses the first one. We'll see.
Let's see if Zeb feels the same way and calls run.
Would be he's staying in a 3-4 on 2nd and 20. So right flat to Mike Williams, 2 men in zone, 13-yard pickup.
So Zeb did call run, anticipating a Josh Allen run maybe, but
Yep. You'll see that on the other side too. Mahomes has a great end run card. He only has 3, not 7 though. So
when did you like to use those? Or like, did you ever use those early in the game, or with only 3, did you save them for the crucial times?
if it was like 2nd and 11 and I'm deep in my own territory, I wouldn't mind using one early. And I don't like to use that third one because it takes,
The threat away.
takes it off the table. I like to leave it as long as possible. So I always tried to save one, but I didn't want to let them rot, I guess you would say. I wanted to make sure I used them in good situations, thinking, I might not have too many 2nd 11s in this game. So, I would look for a situation like that. But there's other situations too. If I'm around midfield and I feel like, they're going to call pass against me, I was a base set kind of team. So I would run it sometimes, even though I knew containment was there, because I could get to a 4th and 1 or 2. So.
Yeah, or especially if they were the type of team that would use the linebackers to double or to bring them. So maybe containment is possible, but it might not be on the table.
Yeah, and you hope later on in the game they're thinking about that and might call run against a short pass for you. Here's a short to Russell Gage. He only needs 7, and we got the must runs and the dump offs. Nope, it's a 13-yard pickup. First down. So coming out of 2nd and 20, big drive so far for Cleveland. They have a chance to get points when it looked like they were on the verge of punting.
Let's take a look at their field goal kicker. They have a normal distance kicker in Suckup. He's 2 through 5 out to the 37. So they want to get inside the 32. 1 first down away.
There's a left flat Njoku throwing behind Judon again. Short gain, 10 yards. And that was a white die 5, so good call again by Michael. And, Zeb and him are both thinking about it. Okay, is this the down I want to leave him at home, or is this the down I want to bring him? Because you don't want to let him sit out there all game. You got a 12*9. Their business is on the line of scrimmage for the most part.
Absolutely.
Look in Mike Williams. Incomplete. I wanted to look at his other guy, Shaheed, see what his long game chances were. Not showing blitz. 2nd and 10 at the 33 of Baltimore. A little over 6.5 minutes remaining. First half. Soft tackle right, Sanders. Nobody there, no linebacker behind him. Short gain, 13 yards. Good first half for Sanders. 10 carries, 55 yards. And now at the Baltimore 20, 6 minutes remaining in the half.
Still has 17 unfatigued carries. So I like to have like around 15 when I go into another half. So he's got a couple more here, and then hopefully he'll have his full 15 for the second half.
Yep, and all those Josh Allen carries still sitting there. Here's Sanders getting 6 guessed right. Really nice pickup guessed right. 2nd and 4. Really too much time to worry about trying to shorten the possession for the other team after this. Just got to play to get the ball in the end zone, to me at least. Don't you think?
I agree. Yeah, and then as it gets to these situations, Zeb's going to want to bring pressure because a sack here will reset the possibilities on 3rd down.
Yep. No blitz being shown. That could be a red herring. It might mean he wants to blitz. He just doesn't want to telegraph it. Big time blitz. Soft tackle left Sanders 6 yards on a nice block by Cornelius Lucas.
Black die was not a D, so he could have gotten away with a short pass there to McBride, for example. That would have been a defender X, and the defender would have been gone.
Yep. 1st and goal at the 8. 2 tight end, 1 wide receiver, or 2 tight end, 2 wide receiver in Sanders. See and run left, loses 4. I believe
Second time we've seen that.
Yeah, I believe that's what he got from the 8 last time. I have this feeling of deja vu. Okay, still not showing blitz. Maybe thinking, okay, he was looking to call run on a similar down and distance earlier in this drive. Does he go Josh Allen on an end run here?
I think he's going to go flat pass again, probably to Njoku.
Yep, I thought about a flat or haven't seen too many draws yet, but this might be a situation. Here's a left end run, Josh Allen. He loses a yard.
Got it on the wrong card.
Yep. So it's 3rd and goal from the 13. So even if you complete a short pass for 10 or 11, it's not going to get you a first down or a touchdown.
Another chance for a Josh Allen run or a flat pass to one of the backs or tight ends.
Yeah, you got to think there's a chance, depending on the formation here, if he stays with a running type formation, that he does another left end run and hopes Judon isn't hanging out. I think formation choice is one of the how would you say, unheralded parts of coaching. It really helps when you're in a good formation for the down and distance.
Absolutely.
I know you and I are both guys who like to leave the run sets open without getting single back guests right as often as possible on 3rd down. It's a little different here, third, from the 13, but
brings in Hargrave. I mean, that to me, I mean, I don't mind a run up the middle, even if he would have been in a too tight, too wide set or something like that, where you can get those edges for the nose tackle plus 11 or plus 40, whatever, plus 20 something.
Yep. It's a short pass to Mike Williams, not double team, but 4-man in zone and pass rush. And it's a fumble, and the defense has it. Big return possibility. He only gets 3. So that's a big play there for Baltimore. And that's one of the things you think about when you were just talking about running against Hargrave is you don't have the chance of the pick or the sack fumble, and you do get the 7-point lead there if you don't do anything by running it. But Cleveland lost the field goal, but they did run a lot of time, and it was one of those situations where it was 2nd and 20 at one point. You got out of that, you got way down there, so it wasn't a bad possession, but you would like to have gotten points if you're Michael.
Absolutely, yeah. No risk it, no biscuit, but that time you risked it and you lost your biscuit.
Yeah, go big or go home. And that session, they actually went home. So, all right.
That's exactly what you want. As a defensive coach like Zeb, you want to get that strip sack and get rid of that possession.
Absolutely. And I wanted to check and see. Max Crosby got the sack on that one.
Yeah, so he gets big help from the linebackers, but his defensive lineman, we'll point that out next time.
Yeah, Max Crosby goes on a list with J.J. Watt of guys that I underestimated when they came out as rookies when we had our drafts. I thought Max Crosby's guy might give you some 4.10 or 0.11 in a few years, but I had no idea he would be this good against the run.
Yeah, it's like we don't get a chance to interview these guys at the combine. But yeah, you could tell Max Crosby was like driven to be great.
Yeah. Yeah, we're thinking about drafting you pretty high, Max. How many 6 ratings do you feel like you'll get over your career?
Yeah, and if you remember that draft, that was the one where they had Clelin Ferrell in there as the higher drafted defensive end. So a lot of people, Tom Cook, picked up Ferrell instead of Crosby. I wanted Crosby in S28 at that time in the draft, but he liked Ferrell's potential to get those 5s and 6s. So you just never know.
Yeah, that was a top to bottom, or I guess you'd say GM and down to coaching. That was a shaky organization. I'm not a big fan of Gruden at this moment. He was good when he was good, back in the 1940s or something like that. I didn't really think Gruden was going to have a great go around the second time around, and picking a Mel Kiper type to be your GM just because they, make some good post draft comments. I forget the GM's name, but he was
Mike Mayock.
That's right, Mike Mayock. I was kind of skeptical about all their picks, but however, I confess in 2 different leagues I did draft. I hate to say it, Henry Ruggs, but man, what a card he had last year! Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes you can't tell who's going to be driven to be great and who's going to be a knucklehead.
Yep.
And sometimes you draft guys because they went higher NFL pedigree, and sometimes you draft them for the rating, and it can work out either way.
Yep. Second 4, Sanders picks up 5, and that'll allow Cleveland to kind of control the clock for the rest of the half. They stop it there, 1:22 remaining. And what do we have for field goal range for Suckup? Let's take a quick look.
Yeah, he's good out to the 37, 2 through 5.
Yeah, 2 through 5 out to the 37. So you kind of want to get down to around the 30.
And Josh Allen's with 6 in runs left. This is another.
I love
where
him
you
in
might
this
want to use
situation,
one or
don't
two.
you?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why they used to go crazy with Russell Wilson, because the other coach was like so hard to get them to call a run in this spot.
Yep, and this is where you can throw some bombs. And I was just about to say it before he did that, but he does it. Oh, defender Rex, incomplete. Jalen Ramsey.
He wanted that receiver card on Mike Williams.
Yep.
But if he would have gone to Devontae Smith or Njoku, that would have been 32 yards.
Yep, but that's definitely the kind of play mix you like in a situation like this. You don't have a ton to lose here on offense, and having good, guess wrong quarterback end runs and throwing some long passes, that's a good play mix through here.
Yeah, I'm glad Michael's doing that. I got on him a little bit for focusing so much on the flats in the autumn wind playoff game. I'm glad to see him open it up here.
Sanders doesn't get the block. Njoku is a 0, only needed to be a 4. So we'll see if they run a hurry up, or you don't really want to call a timeout. You either let it run or you go hurry up, I think. Because you're not in optimal field position here.
Yeah.
And
it looks like they went hurry up, I think, but I can't tell.
Yeah, I can't tell either.
So they got 3 guys covered by 4s that can go deep. Njoku, Rashid Shaheed, Devonta Smith. Zeb likes the blitz. He also could be doubling or even pulling the extra DB back to the deep zone.
He's got
a lot of possibilities here.
Yep, he's got Perrine in to help block against the Astros. So,
and even that's without the free safety blitz showing. A flat pass to P. Ryan, throwing it Leonard Floyd or Matt Judon's hopefully vacated flat.
Yep. And run right Allen. There will be no containment, and he's got a short gain. Good call, 13 or 12 yards, rather. He doesn't get out of bounds, but
yeah,
still got a couple of timeouts.
Yeah, like you said, you don't like doing that when you have the white die 1 looming, but if you hit that 2 or 3, you're golden, because you're not going to get a run call there.
And it wasn't as critical if you don't pick it up there. You just punt it away. You're running low. You're down to what now? 5 plays left in the half or something like that. So you're not really worried if you don't pick one up there. It's a lot. You feel a lot worse if you're on your own 20 or something like that. So it's not a bad situation to use one of those. And here Sanders is going to get 22 with the box.
Yeah, he had moved the linebacker to double team or moved him inside. I don't remember which one, but that there was nobody there. And that another thing to keep in mind, it takes Sanders down to 10 unfatigued carries. So he's not leaving himself 15 for the next half. He's going to have to use some of those backups in the second half.
They do get the ball, so they might have one more possession in the second half than the Ravens possibly. So you're feeling good if you're Cleveland. You kicked off and you're up 4, and you've kind of got control here. Last 30 seconds should be able to get a score. Here's Devontae Smith, left flat. It's going to be a
lose 2. Gets out of bounds, though.
Yep. Still got some yards to give as far as staying in good field goal range. So, and what would that have been if the linebacker had been gone? A long gain. And that would have been a touchdown.
Yep, or white die 6. So, good play call. Just didn't come at the right time.
You got a feeling because even good coaches, you don't really forget about things totally. And you've got to think, okay, last time I was down here, I had a great field goal, 2 through 10 or whatever, and I lost the sack fumble. You feel like there's a little more pressure to just score the ball here. There's a guess wrong 5-yard pickup.
Oh, dangerous situation here because he's going to have to call a
Yeah.
timeout here. It'll be 3rd and 7. And
you've got to go.
You got to get the first down. Otherwise, the half's going to end without another timeout.
Yep, you cannot spike the ball on 4th down here. So,
and he can't go hurry up here because that'll mean he won't be able to kick the field goal. Yep. So hurry up is going to leave 1 second left. Spiking the ball is might as well just call a timeout and kick the field goal now. So we'll see what he does.
Yeah, I just kicked the field goal here.
Yeah, there you go.
There's too much to lose. 18-yard plays aren't easy. So,
yeah.
Got it. So Cleveland with a 13-6 lead. I'm not sure if Cleveland has ever won a championship. And
they have not.
I apologize because I wasn't in the league for the first few years, but I know the Ravens have won one, correct?
Yes. Zeb won in, and I'll bring this over here right now. Zeb won in 2018 card set. So that's 4 years ago now. And they lost the Super Bowl in 2020. And Michael, let's see, Michael has not made the playoffs. This is his the second time he's made the playoffs. He made the playoffs in the initial year, and since then, I'm sorry, he made the playoffs twice before that. So this is his 3rd time's the charm, maybe, for him.
Okay, so 9 unfatigued carries for Sanders, and we still have 5 remaining for Josh Allen. So,
but I know this would mean a lot to Michael to win this one.
Yeah. Zeb is watching Sanders' attempts also.
Yes.
And certain coaches will consider just calling pass a lot in situations like this, saying, yeah, I know you might run on me, but I feel like you're going to save some of those carries at least. So, and that one's incomplete again, Njoku looking in the zone where Matt Judon normally is stationed, at least before the snap. He's probably normally on the line of scrimmage, but before the snap, he lines up at right linebacker. So he's been hitting in that zone a lot.
Yep, Shaheed checks in place of Devonta Smith.
Gives me a chance to look at his card. I wanted to see how many long game types. He's got 6 chances versus 2 for Devonta Smith. Guessed wrong, so he definitely has quite a bit more. There's a 12-yard pickup.
Thrown to McBride, who was uncovered because Judon was coming on the line of scrimmage. And there was a 72% chance of a sack, Judon himself, against Max Garcia, but it was a random 96. So kind of a lucky roll there for the Browns.
So 12 for 19, 142 for Josh Allen. Lost a fumble on a sack, but there's Sanders getting 0.
In a weird way, Sanders running out of carries could help the Browns use Josh Allen's runs more effectively. Because if you see a guy only has like 5 unfatigued carries left on his main back, maybe you switch it up there.
Absolutely. And I think Zeb was looking for that because he called run there. Incomplete. It's going to bring it 3rd and 10.
Zeb inching that free safety up, either coming on the line of scrimmage in a free safety blitz, or there when it was no blitz showing, filling the short pass zone or covering an abandoned flat. So that long pass zone is open. That might be something we look at later.
Yeah, I definitely feel like this is the right spot in the game. If you do see a free safety showing blitz, this isn't a bad situation to go for it, because if you only get a 25, let's say you give, a 35-yard interception and a 10-yard return, only losing, it's a 25-yard differential in possession. Yeah, you're only getting 40 if you punt. So this isn't a bad situation to go for a big play if you were to see blitz coming. And doesn't mean he wouldn't here, because you got 3-4s to possibly go against.
Yeah, let's see. Zeb likes to double. Let's see. I haven't seen two men in the zone very often, so yeah, maybe we'll get a deep pass to Gage and Joku or Smith.
And he's got short to Gage, not double teamed, incomplete. So big possession overall for Zeb, down 6, kicking off. You don't want to go down like too many since we are in the second half, and he's wearing Miles Sanders down a little bit. So Zeb's in good shape here. Michael is showing blitz, first down. It's going to be flat to Ricci, and he's got 11, first down.
Yep, it's same thing we saw in the conference championship game. Ricci's featured when the opposing coach shows blitz, and he knows he's not going to be targeted, or he might have more of a chance of an empty flat. He targets him.
Yep. And Henry is a 2 pass blocker, so it's not like you're leaving a 0 to face the asterisk. You at least got a 2. There's a huge difference between a 2 and a 0 in pass blocking. Showing blitz again.
With all those 7s, that time it was Josh Uche, 11 against the Lloyd Cushenberry's 3. And even on a flat pass, it was a 33% chance of a sack.
Yep.
So you're going to need to see that, I think, more and more to keep the short and long pass in check. See Uche coming on a blitz every now and then.
There's a flat pass guessed right to reach 13 yards, linebacker 6-0.
And it's hard as a defensive coach to double team those kind of weakling fullbacks, because they're not great yardage wise, but they can pick you apart bite by bite.
Yep, the Terry Kirby types. It's hard to double team them, especially if you're showing blitz. You're like, okay, now I'm going to double team a running back, and I've got the sniper scope showing. I'm not going to get the big blitz, and I've got both wide receivers maybe not being doubled. So there's a 27-yarder guessed wrong, Christian Watson. Aaron Rodgers is like, why didn't you catch that one when I threw it on first play of the season, huh?
Black die was D there. So if pass call with some blitz help, that could have been a sack.
Yep. So with Cleveland 27, 1st and 10. Again, great range for McManus as far as he converts a lot of the 50-yarders. Like to get a touchdown here, but
hey, my kid just came home from his nursing shift. I'm gonna go say hi real quick. You take over for a bit.
Okay. It's a flat left to Ricci. Couple of blitzers coming. Guess right. 5-yard pickup. 2nd and 5. Ball to 22 of Cleveland. Mahomes, 12 of 15 for 154 yards. 25 unfatigued carries for Derrick Henry. Mahomes still has all 3 end runs. Here's Ricci on a right flat. He's got 8-yard pickup, and now 5 catches, 47 yards for Ricci. 1st and 10 to Cleveland 14. Browns showing blitz most of this drive. Might we see Derrick Henry? Flat right to Ricci once again. Got 3 from the Browns 11. It'll be 2nd and 7. Not showing blitz. Might be planning on moving that free safety up to cover a linebacker zone here.
Plenty of carries left for Henry. He's
25.
Yeah, 25 unfatigued carries left, so no worries there.
Yeah, he's not showing blitz, 2nd and 7. So I get a feeling Michael may be at least considering bringing the free safety into a flat zone. But there's a 10-yard pickup, and that's going to be a 1st and goal at the 1.
It would have been 5 yards without being guessed wrong. So
And Ricci's wondering, why didn't you throw to me? I've been catching it and picking up first downs. That was
15-18 from Mahomes so far. That's crazy.
Yeah, here's Madison now. This is where Madison, he's pretty good guess right, and he loses a yard there. But I noticed he had like 5 or 6 touchdowns. So he's one of those guys that during the regular season, Zeb would use in a situation like this. Second goal at the 2.
I'm thinking that it's time for King Henry to get his Super Bowl touchdown here.
He is showing blitz here. It's going to be a short pass. Tyler Lockett touchdown. There's McManus on to tie the game. He does have some misses, though. And it's tied 13-all, halfway through the third. Eight carries left for Sanders.
Shaheed in there, showing that deep threat.
In run left, Sanders. Yes, Strong loses 4.
And Judon. Oh no, that was losing 4 because Judon was there, but the blocking back couldn't make the block.
So second 14. He's not showing blitz.
And typically that's been where he's been throwing to left flat. If he would have done that time, it would have been plus 20.
Yep. Here's one of those Josh Allen type end run down in distances you kind of like to use him for. We'll see if he saves them since he's low with Sanders, or maybe thinks Zeb's been calling run a lot in these situations. And run right, Allen, and he does call run, and he floods the zone. He gains 3 anyway. That would have been 4. So no big differential on that one.
And he had flooded the flats as well as calling run. A deep pass was plus 29 on 3.
Ooh.
So you think to yourself, oh man, I should have opened it up, and then next thing you know, Zeb's bringing the house, and you're on your back with another strip sack fumble. So it's a balancing act.
Michael's done a good job of not getting too short, long pass happy. So he has ran a lot of plays throwing at Judon, trying to keep him home. Here's a 3rd and 11. He's not showing blitz. Sanders in the game.
I would say not enough long passes, though, because he's letting Zeb do whatever he wants with that free safety. There's a fly.
Nobody back there, guarded by Jalen Ramsey. Here's a 21-yard must run.
My, oh my, big time. Perfect time for that.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. You've got to work some long passes into your game. I mean, sometimes it's just a wasted down. A lot of times it is. Sometimes it's a drive killer. You get a sack or an interception, but you got to work some of those in. It's hard to get your running back carries to stretch out if you don't make some big plays, I think. So.
Absolutely. That's a great point.
So
McBride can't go long in this set because that would be another guy. I would use that second tight end to just kind of keep Judon home by going deep in. So not able to do that in this set.
Here's an off tackle right, Sanders. Got 5. Second and 5 at midfield. 5 minutes left in the third. Tie game, Super Bowl 7.
Got to start using those backups situationally. Maybe this is a good time to bring in a P. Ryan for those second down runs.
There's a guess wrong looking at a 6. It's going to be incomplete.
It was a white die 6 too, so is that flooded those flats?
Yep, he had a 6 in there at that position, so that made a
Middle
big
linebacker, yeah.
So be interesting to see his formation here. 3rd and 5 at midfield. You got 4. I typically am going to go for a 4th and 1 if I'm in opponent's territory. Most game situations. So I don't know how big a gambler Mike is, but this is definitely possible. I think a lot of people are looking at this as 2-down territory. So could see him flooding flats. Not showing blitz, 3-3-5.
He kept Reader in there instead of Hargrave, the pass rusher.
Yep. Good point. So looking Perrine, short gain, 19.
Samaje Perine with a big catch. Huge 3rd down conversion there.
That was. And he beat a 6. He didn't actually beat him, but he got the short gain. So got to feel good on that if you're Michael. And now you're at the 31. This is kind of where you're missing a good second running back. I ran into this with Miles Sanders too. I didn't even have anybody qualified as a second back, so I had to wait until I got like on 3rd down or 2nd and 2 or something like that. Otherwise, I was just burning through Miles Sanders' carries, and he's got a lot of them, but this is kind of one of those situations where it'd be nice to have a second guy that you could rely on. There's a short pass to Devontae Smith, 12-yarder. Now you're at the 19, 1st and 10. Staying with Sanders.
Good drive for Allen. That big run on 3rd down. He's gotten his pass completion percentage up a little bit. It was down around 50% for a while.
The short guess wrong to Devontae Smith, 12-yarder.
Zeb obviously worried about those in runs for Allen.
Yep.
Oh, we got Nathan here. What's up, Nathan? Tim's doing play-by-play for us. You can join us as Tim's doing the play-by-play for us. You can join in and be a color commentator like myself. You got anything good to say?
Sounds
or
good.
Even if it's not good, even if it's neutral, speak up.
Yeah, with Dennis and I, it's not hard to beat us. So just jump in anytime, Nathan. I just noticed, other than Josh Allen and Sanders, nobody even had 10 carries for Cleveland. So something.
Yeah, Perine's got 95 carries, so he's unlimited in the second half.
Yeah, he just didn't run.
He's in the game now, so maybe we'll see a run by him.
Not showing blitz.
This could be Michael's way to get Zeb to call run, because he's thinking, oh, he's definitely going to run Josh Allen here, and he'll be able to throw short. Nope. Crossed up there.
Michael's like, that's why I only run Sanders. Green's got a decent card. I mean, it's quite usable for this down and distance here inside the 10. So Sanders back in. Josh Allen still has 4 carries now. Not showing blitz.
He's end run here with Sanders on early downs around this area of the field. I think a pass is going to be more effective here. Hopefully he stays away from that -4 result.
And we had a sack fumble earlier in the game, Nathan, on a similar down and distance. I think it's more like a 12 or 14, but had a sack fumble that cost Cleveland some points. But in a tie game, 17 minutes left. You'd like to get the touchdown, but you really want to score here. And run Allen, guess wrong. Almost automatic.
Me up.
Almost automatic off his card.
Touchdown, Browns, big spot.
Yeah, he's got 28 out of 36 chance of scoring there off his card. So extra point is good. The touchback, 20-13 Cleveland. Got a little over 2 minutes left, third quarter. Any thoughts on either of these teams, Nathan? Did you have a chance to play one or both?
I don't recall. My team wasn't very
Wait,
good this year.
you
So,
definitely played one of them because you're in the same conference with them. Let's see, Los Angeles Rams. You played the Browns. Let's
did I get
see.
destroyed?
Finding yes, 35-3. So I can see why
Pretty
it wasn't
solid.
very memorable.
Yeah, my offense in this league
Possible.
with Dak Prescott was not the type of offense I like to run.
Prescott had almost as many interceptions as touchdowns this year.
There's Mahomes using an end run for 12. Yeah, you beat me, Nathan. But I know what you're talking about. This wasn't a great year for your team this particular year, and I know from experience it was not a great year for Dak Prescott this year. So
Yeah, I had my defense. I couldn't complain. Actually, it's probably a better defense than I've had in a couple of years, and I was in contention those years. But my offense was just a wreck. So
you had a ton of sacks, didn't you?
probably. I don't doubt that I blitzed the hell out of everyone. So
yeah, you might as well do that. Have some fun. Yeah,
yes.
You had.
I mean, I do that anyway, but when you're not scoring, it's a lot tougher.
So 2nd and 10 after the incompletion there, looking for Ricci. He's got 6 catches for 50 yards.
Yeah, 31 sacks, but your offensive line must have been horrible because you gave up 68. So.
And I probably tried to throw downfield too much.
I noticed that if you really, I mean, if you want to, go ahead, Tim.
No, you guys go ahead.
I was gonna say 7-yard pickup there. I was gonna say if you want to get a better draft pick without throwing your games, just get a bunch of 0s and 2s on your offensive line. Trade away all your offensive line guys. That has such a big impact. I'm noticing now in SSFA, I'm getting destroyed with all my 0s on the line.
Oh yeah, I specifically have to remind myself I will be a running team, even if I have Mahomes, even if I've got whatever, when my line's that way.
Yep. I kind of had there's a short gain, nice pickup there on 3rd down. I kind of had that situation in Samifa. I did have a Taylor Moton. I had a 7 at right tackle, but I basically had 3s and 4s all around. And yeah, Mahomes and Ridley looks like a good combination, but only if you can block for it. And I didn't feel like I could really block for it. So I had to throw a lot more flats than I normally would and ran over 50% of the time. So.
Yeah, and you need carries. You don't want to go into a season with Mahomes without lots of carries because people will say, screw it, I'm just going to wear him out.
Yep.
Pace slowing down here. There's that man again, Giovanni Ricci. I'm going to go cash my ticket. I had over 6 receptions today.
DraftKings.
He got 7 catches for 57 yards.
Now, was Baltimore in the championship last year?
Last year was me against Brian Holmberg, and I lost. And I thought I had a much better team. He just outrolled and outcoached me. He did a great job.
This Baltimore team's been tough for years now with Mahomes and Henry.
Let's see. So here's Baltimore's record. They went 2-14 the first year, then 8-8. Then they won the Super Bowl, 13-3 the following year with a 1-and-out. Lost the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and then lost in the conference championships the last year.
I think that one 2 years ago is the one I was really thinking of.
Last year, I think I played Zeb and knocked him out in a really good matchup. He always gives me a hard time. But like I said, Brian was just amazing last year. And this year. He did really good this year as well.
Yeah, you should name one of your conferences after him. 2nd one at the Cleveland 28. Mahomes just a couple plays ago used his 2nd of 3 end runs. So he's got plenty from Henry, but that's going to take Mahomes out of the equation after one more. There's a look in for 5 yards. Going to set up 3rd and 5. You don't really have to press yet. 12 and a half minutes left, and you're down 7. So if it comes to it, you take the field goal here still. But, Zeb would like to go ahead and get this ball in the end zone. (3-3-5) and not blitzing. No shotgun either, so Derrick Henry can run anywhere. There's an incomplete short pass. We'll see the kicker, McManus.
We're into the fourth quarter already.
I have McManus and SSFA, and I think he's already there. It is. I'm bad luck. I shanked that exact one 3 times already in 3 games.
Yeah.
McShankus.
I mentioned it earlier. He's got great distance. He's like 2 through 7 from early 50s, but he's a little shaky on his extra points and some of his short kicks outside.
I mean, that's still 31 out of 36 isn't bad. It's just bad luck there.
Yep. But a lot of the kickers in the league would have made that one. There's a sack, and we got Matt Judon. Actually, Max Crosby called the sack. No surprise, the 13 going against the 3. It was a 1-9 chance, and he got it on 5.
So that kind of explains why Michael hasn't really been pushing that deep pass a lot with 2 3s and 2 4s on the offensive lines. That's pretty amazing. He's been able to make it to the championship game. I think I tried to blitz him like crazy, and I didn't get him. I didn't sack Allen once. But Seb's getting to him today.
Yep, and you mentioned a good point earlier is that he was throwing a lot of flats, and you kind of felt like maybe even too many, but that's probably just one of those counters that he's like, I can't just sit back and throw long and short all day because I don't have the protection for it. There's a nice 9-yard pickup. Trey McBride's got 9. That's going to set up a 3rd and 10.
Guess right would have been incomplete, so he threw it that flat that Judon was in, who had coverage responsibility. So it's guessed wrong on the receiver part.
Seems like his stock has jumped way up in the last season.
Yeah.
Trey McBride.
He looks one of those exciting Travis Kelce light type tight ends.
Now, quick question for you guys. Do you guys worry on the fact that if it's going to be a free safety blitz, you worry that the short and long, how would you say it, dump off chances kind of go up if you roll the 1D or 2D? I never worry about that. If I want to blitz, I just blitz. I don't worry that there's a little higher chance of a dump off. There's a much better chance of a sack.
He's home for a dump off here. He's going to get it.
Yep.
Someone gets on the quarterback guard done. I don't. I just like you said. If I'm worried about it, I'll bring linebacker pressure.
I have heard somebody mention that one time when I was kind of questioning them, not really like you should have coached differently, but just asking them about it. And somebody mentioned that, and I am aware of that, but I really don't let that bother me.
It's a weird quirk overall. It's not 100% for every team. It's more likely for the types of teams I field. So because I already have a high pass rush, it actually probably doesn't affect the teams that have the mediocre pass rush because I think that some of their guys get the boost. So they're actually not necessarily going to get punished.
I also feel like there's a psychological advantage. If you've had 2 to 3 or 4 sacks and you're showing blitz, you're hoping to get into the offensive coordinator's head a little bit, like, I'm not going to take another sack or lose a fumble.
It's turning everything up to 10 on both sides. It's like, I understand you can run draws and you can flat pass and flood zones and or do all that sort of thing, but it definitely changes the stakes on every play when you're actually going downfield, or vice versa. The offense can attack you a lot more too, so it's not like it's just a one-way street.
Yeah, and Dennis and I and you are too, I'm sure. We're big fans of big games. You want to come up with big plays. You want to win the turnover battle. Getting sacks is one of the ways to do both. That is a big play if you get off the field and you gain 8 yards on defense rather than giving up 2 or 3 first downs, or if you get a sack fumble, and especially if you get one of those big returns. There's a big, important 20-yard pickup for Derrick Henry on a flat.
Yeah, that's where you can kind of kick yourself as a defensive coach, because it was 3rd down and 5. He showed blitz. Now, as a on the offense, you're thinking, okay, I'm not gonna go short or long. I'm gonna throw flat because he's coming, and maybe get an empty zone. So you can kind of change the opponent's coaching, and sometimes that works to your benefit, and sometimes that works to your disadvantage.
But you also get that 6 roll there, and it doesn't even matter if your guy's there. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Dice again.
One of the things that I feel people underestimate the value of blitzing those guys, other than it's not like you're bringing some 6 coverage guy that's got like a 4 pass rush. We're talking about guys that are probably zeros with like 10 or 11 pass rush a lot of the time.
So Henry's run 9 times for 14 yards today, guys. I kind of, you kind of get that as a defensive coach. You get that feeling, oh my God, he's going to break one of these days.
Yeah, that's a really low number.
He tried to go in run, guess wrong there, but it went on the D card, and Michael had brought it linebacker.
Yeah, I meant to check to see how many plays Baltimore's even ran, because Mahomes doesn't have that many attempts, and I'm about to pull it up. They've only ran 41 plays from scrimmage at this point, so they haven't had a whole lot of plays from scrimmage. So
Michael will sub out Uche here and bring in the 0-4-0-5 outside linebacker. Let's see if he does that.
So we got a 3rd and 5, and you've got to think he's thinking 4 down territory, don't you?
Yeah, and I think that you want to bring that guy in to take away, put containment back in.
Yep.
He left him in. He left Uche in there, so maybe Zeb might run at him, and then he's going to throw it.
Got a couple, so he got out of containment, and I believe you got to go for it. 6:18 left.
That was a white die 6, but the reading was defender +2 or +8, and the only 6 on the field for the Browns is their strong safety, Tyrann Mathieu.
It's a good point. He is going to go for it. Zeb's not a willy-nilly go for it kind of guy, but game situation, this is definitely the right call, I think. So.
This is where you're checking your offensive tendencies of your opponent.
Ricci's like, just get me the ball, coach. I'm dominating the field today. Here's a line, but Derrick Henry, guess wrong. He does not get it. He gets one. Ricci wanting to catch did not get the block.
That would have been a -3, -1 anyway on a receiver on a flat pass.
Yeah.
So.
What about the bomb?
Or the short pass?
Yeah, that could have been good. Receiver rating probably.
So Cleveland's got 6 minutes to run the 4-minute offense here.
10 carries for 15 yards for Henry. He's going to be disappointed in that effort.
6 rushing unfatigued attempts for Miles Sanders. He's got a guess wrong. Ooh, that wasn't a bad roll. He got 6 and got out of containment, but he had both boxes working there as well.
Also avoided a pick split on a quarterback on a pass, so that's you're thankful for that as an offensive coach.
So 2nd and 4, not showing blitz.
And remember, the Browns don't have a long distance field goal kicker. They need to get to the 32, so 14 more yards.
We're 5 minutes and 24 seconds, and we don't even need a field goal kicker.
We saw Zeb calling run and flooding the flats on some situations like this, but not this time.
Gets a yard. There's not many. He would not have picked up the first down, guessed wrong on Sanders. So Zeb gets a little bit of a break there. He's got a 3rd and 3 now.
Sanders down to 4 unfatigued carries.
So he's not in terrible shape here. You wouldn't feel terrible giving him a couple of fatigued carries.
No, not at all, and especially in this situation, it's a high leverage situation.
Yep.
I think Zeb's going to call run and flood the flat. So I like a short pass to Devontae Smith here.
Totally agree.
Put it in your maxed out receiver's hands.
He's got a flat to Devontae Smith. 2 men in zone, incomplete. And what That was going to be
White die,
anyway.
yeah, incomplete on short anyway because the white die is a 4.
Yep. So 4th and 3, going to punt. Even Dennis would punt here.
Yeah, well, the only other reason you might go for it is that you shorten the field for your opponent, and if he gets a score, you have time to go back and win it.
I thought about that too, but yeah, I kind of want to make him go 90 yards, and with the great pass rush Cleveland has, just one sack during this drive might win you the Super Bowl. So
one big long run by King Henry though could put you in a bind and tie the game up. So we'll see what happens. So I think you got the right strategy.
Yep. One unfatigued carry, or one in run left for Mahomes, I should say. So here's a short pass, incomplete, defended well there by Greg Newsome.
Second and 10.
Yeah.
Part of the problem with Henry is that he keeps landing on the defensive cards, and that seems to be a theme for the Ravens all game today. A lot of defensive readings.
You got an end run, guessed wrong, but rolled a 0. Here's a short gain. There goes Mahomes' last carry. Nice place to use it. And I was going to say, if it got to 4th down, you still got to punt it there. You can't go for 4th and 10 at your own 10 and just give them the field goal. You almost had to punt and just hope get a punt or snap fumble or something, but you can't just hand them the ball at the 10. So
I'm thinking in run to Henry's going to be featured here a couple times. Oh, Ricci says, "Give me that ball." That's his 10th target of the day.
Wow. So see if see if Michael is thinking of taking that shot for the sack. Nope, he's not blitzing. In run right, Henry. There's the long gain, 51 yards. Out of bounds at the 25. Huge play for the Ravens down to the Cleveland 25.
That would have been so amazing if he would have called run there, because it's so hard to call run when a guy's been ineffective and he hasn't really been featured. That's only his 11th carry. So let's see what happens here.
Yep. You're kind of in between if you're Baltimore. You don't take a field goal here. It is 4 down territory, but you don't want to run the clock out for sure right now because you might need another possession. Here's a 1-yard pickup. Ricci, 2-minute in zone. Got a white dice 6.
Yeah, prevented a 7-yard pickup. So
and right by that interception. So 2nd and 9, 2:06 remaining in the Super Bowl. Cleveland up by 7. I don't know if Michael has won a big league championship, so his heart's thumping a little bit if not. Or even if so, hell.
This is a big one. 2018 league. These are special.
Yep. It's not showing blitz still. I might lean toward it here, though. Short to Lockett. Guessed right.
That was overdue. Here it goes. Down to the 9.
He beat J.C. Horn and got 15 yards. 1st and goal at the 9. 2-minute warning.
Now you're blitzing. You better be at least.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of blitzing inside the 10 just about all the time. Even if it's 1st and goal at the 1, you at least want to make the opposing team think you could blitz. All right. So we got Derrick Henry. Plenty of carries left. 1st and goal to 9. Got a great guess right and wrong short pass from Mahomes. You got a big time pass rush though. No. CJ Mosley, who's a 6, makes the play there. Defense takes a timeout. You got to be careful on those though.
Yeah, if he doesn't make it, then you're giving him a chance to get the ball back.
Totally agree. It's not a terrible call. It's just you got to be careful on those because, if he ends up not making it, then you've got the ball deep in your own territory, and he's still got his 3 timeouts. Second goal from the 9. You don't want to take a sack here, so you might run Henry again. It's short to Henry. 12 yards touchdown. Double teamed. Patrick Mahomes. Wow. Clutch pass. And we've got McManus 2 through 10 on his extra points, or does he go for 2?
Too early to go for 2.
I think so too.
Too much time left, I mean.
Plus, weren't you guys saying Sanders is almost out of carries?
Yeah, and to me, the other point in that is if you make it, you give Cleveland known 4-down territory, where right now it's only 3-down territory. Tie game. We're in the Super Bowl. 1.5 minutes remaining. 20 all. Josh Allen's still got some end runs. He's got 3 of them remaining. Miles Sanders getting tired. He has 4 unfatigued carries.
That's not bad.
Nah.
7 really good carries.
Yeah.
P. Ryan's okay. He's not, you could put him in there.
And P. Ryan's a good blocker, pass blocker. So he's one of those guys that has some hidden values.
Problem is you have to run.
Zeb's pass rush against those 4s and 3s on the offensive line is going to come into play here.
Yeah.
Zeb is not showing blitz. Does not want to lose the game, a Super Bowl, to a sniper.
But those linebackers are going to come. I guarantee you that. Somebody's coming.
I think
one of
you're
those
right.
outside guys.
You don't have to worry about Sanders out of the backfield. He's not anything. It's an end run right, Sanders.
Loses a yard.
Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. See if anybody wants to use a timeout. I think both are going to be hesitant to take a timeout here. Yep. So 2nd and 11. Running formation. Will Josh Allen run it? Zeb's been calling a lot of run in these down and distances. Cover for Josh Allen.
Harder to do at this point in the game because the bomb here could put him into field goal range.
Absolutely. And he's got Shaheed in as the breakaway guy. Linebacker in zone makes the play. Jermaine Pratt.
Zeb had been sliding Pratt out to cover for Leonard Floyd. That time he left him home. Michael was obviously hoping for an empty zone there.
Is Njoku rated at blocking back this year?
Let me check that out. He is not. Straight tight end.
Yeah,
his blocking back is
that was last year with that nasty card, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's got a 3rd down. Now he's got Perrine in. Not showing blitz, 3-3-5. Big time pass rush.
Hoping Josh Allen can maybe must run him for a 1st down here.
Got Hargrave in. This is one of the few downs and distances I'd consider a shadow. He's got Hargrave in at nose tackle for the pass rush.
Could use Judon to do that, but then you take him away from the pass rush. I really don't like shadowing unless you have a 6-rated run linebacker. And even then, I rarely do it.
Yeah, I don't use it much, but this is not a go for it on 4th down and distance. So
Ravens with it was a misclick. He said, "Oops." The dump off is still in play here too, so something to keep in mind.
Yep, he didn't like the defensive coordinator's call, much like Shanahan in the Super Bowl.
Somebody's getting fired this year. They lose.
Okay, 3rd and 11. He is in pistol, 3-3-5.
I might uncork a long one to Njoku or one of the other guys covered by a 4, see what happens. Zeb has them the triple-double team, so maybe a flat pass.
And run left.
And run on. Well, yeah. Could do that too.
I don't know if I would, but that's my prediction.
Short pass, Rashid. He's not being double-teamed. Against the 4. Incomplete. What would Devontae Smith have done there?
We'll check that. Let me see. Computer manager.
It was a 3 wide receiver set, so it wasn't like he was out of the game on that play. But
yeah, he's incomplete on the 6 too. What about Shaheed on a long pass?
See, I don't normally do what you do, Dennis, here. I never look at what else could have happened with that roll. I think more about what guys were moving around, but it's always interesting to look at some of those because.
Yeah,
I assume it
incomplete
would have
as
been
well.
a different role anyway.
Yeah, that's
I feel
true.
that way too.
Well, look at this though. That's a good punt return, and he's only a few first downs away from a game-winning field goal attempt, and he's got the long-distance kicker.
Is that McManus?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, he is pretty good from deep.
2 yards gets strong there.
There goes the second timeout. So one left. And I don't know why you don't show blitz here. If you're a blitzing kind of guy, touchdown and field goal is the same thing. So
Yeah, and also plug some zones in case you hit Henry on a 8 on an end run on the D card for plus 12. You'd rather have a guy there to stop that. 13 for 68 for Henry, but 51 of it came on one play.
Yeah, so 12 for 17 on the other runs. There's a linebacker, Henry. He's got a short gain. He's got 13 yards. That's going to get him into the edge of field goal range. He's going to spike it here, I'm assuming.
Guessed right, would have been 2 yards.
He does spike it. So we got 22 seconds left. It'll be 2nd and 10. Cleveland 39. One timeout left for Baltimore. So you don't want to get to a point where you can't spike it or save that timeout, one or the other. Choice of a spike for that down and distance.
Zeb's lured him in here with 2 straight runs. He's going to throw a flat pass here because he's Michael's going to call run. That's my prediction.
If you were to have a lot of gumption, you might key to try to knock him back out of this field goal range. Get closer to where the variable would help you.
Big play here, goes without saying. But I said it anyway.
The flats are risky too because you can lose yards there pretty easily.
Short to Watson.
14 yards. Look at that.
Stays in bounds. We'll see the spike.
And there was a black ID there. 24% chance of a sack. Random 68. That wall of sevens. Taylor Moton keeps him upright against J.J. Watt.
Yay, Taylor Moton. I've got him, please.
8 seconds left. He has time for one more play with a timeout in his pocket, but I'm not sure if he's going to run it.
Yeah, Mahomes has got a snap fumble of 1, so it's not anything to worry about, but anything can happen. So.
Feels like a chance.
And the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl. McManus nails the game-winning kick. Congratulations, Zeb, been a great game.
Very impressive.
Yep.
Kept us cool.
Go ahead, Dennis.
No, go ahead. You tell him.
Just because King Henry had the very off game for him comes through on the big drive, the biggest drive of the season with a 51-yard run, set up the game-tying touchdown, and then also came back with another 14-yard run in the last drive to set up a game-winning field goal.
So Zeb's won 2 now in this league. Is that correct, or does he have 3? I think he has 2.
I believe you're right. I believe Dennis had said he had lost 1 and won 1 before this. So.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, this is the second championship. Let's see if they come on here. I think they will. We got Zeb here. Champion in first. Congratulations, Zeb. Way to go.
That was crazy.
So tell us about that big Derrick Henry run. He didn't have a lot of carries, but you stuck with the run, and he hit one at the right time.
Yeah, he had 2 of them at the right time. He had that line buck at the on that final drive too for Green. He actually had a really bad postseason. Aaron really shut him down in the game against Las Vegas, and he had 2 fumbles. He lost them both, and really didn't do anything until the last 2 minutes of this game.
Good thing you got a quarterback that's fairly capable.
Yeah, no kidding. Man, I mean, actually, Mike. I felt like he pretty much dominated most of this game.
Yeah, I want to say congratulations, Zeb.
Thanks.
I want to say I think you had like 41 plays midway through the fourth, and I'm like, well, why is Henry only got so many carries and Mahomes only got like 18 attempts or something? And then we looked it up. I was like, wow, 41 plays. So yeah, you had a lot of reserve runs for Henry going into the game.
Yeah.
And we welcome in Michael too. Michael, welcome. Tough loss, but you did amazing to get to the Super Bowl. And I thought you called a really good game with your limited offensive line. I know Zeb was chomping at the bits, trying to get more sacks. Allen did go down 3 times, but what are your thoughts, Michael?
Well, I think that the line. I'm really surprised that I could get a team this far with a line that was that bad. I mean, before the season started, I made a quick trade for Cornelius Lucas so I could get, a 5-4 on the side. But I mean, you got a 5-3 on the outside, and I think maybe there's a 7 blocker in there somewhere, but the rest of them are pretty bad. And the only way that you're going to win in a situation like that is if you keep the other team off balance. So you've got to have a really good rushing attack, and plus you've got, Allen, who has all those end runs, and if you can keep them off balance, you can keep them out of pass calls, and that's basically how I survived this year at all to get to 13-3. So you just play to your strengths. If I'd have known this team would have performed this well, I probably should have been a little bit more aggressive in making trades, and I just didn't do it. That's a lack of knowing your personnel.
Yeah, just like Mickey Mantle. If I'd known I'd live this long, I would have taken better care of myself. So, but the thing that was working for you, Zeb, Derrick Henry, of course, had a tough game except for the one big run, was Josh Allen. He was like 80% completion percentage for a lot of the game. Not Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. He wound up 26 for 36, 72% with those 2 touchdowns and a 111 rating. So he was there when you needed him.
I mean, both quarterbacks played well. I mean, there was a number of long pass completions. And so, like, to Mike's point about his line, Josh Allen's strength is not flat passing, but you have to mix into flat passes. And I thought he did a good job of that, and he got good production out of them.
Yeah, I thought one of the interesting battles was Michael was doing a great job throwing at Matt Judon.
Yeah.
That makes you have to think, well, I'm hurting my team if I don't have him rushing the passer a lot. But if he's throwing at him all the time, it doesn't make sense on a flat pass to have him running.
Well, and on the other side, I can rush Floyd, and I can slide out Pratt, and I have a 6 out there to cover that. And I can slide out was it Roquan Smith, but he's only a 5 against the pass. And you can't do that too much. He got me once on a line block when I was covering sliding out both inside linebackers, and there was nobody covering that flat pass zone. He picked up that extra 10 yards.
Sounds like a first world problem, only being able to slide out a 5 to cover your pass rusher.
Especially in these
I had to laugh because I feel like I had that in maybe in Somifa. I felt pretty damn good about it when I had a 5 and a 6 in there.
Yeah.
But
definitely a luxury.
It was a really good championship game. I thought a lot of back and forth. Michael's going to feel like, I couldn't have that. I was in control with the ball a couple times with a chance to go up 2 scores. Zeb kept fighting, kept hanging in there. Didn't take any risky chances on 4th down. You punted away, waiting for the opportune time until the last drive, where you had to go for it. And actually, maybe you never even had faced a 4th down. I'm not sure. But it was, you played within your offense and got the big play at the end. So pretty entertaining game.
I will say, Mike, my kickers had really bad luck against you, Mike. I look back at our last game, the game we played in the regular season, and I didn't remember it till I looked back at that, but I think I missed 1 extra point and 2 field goals in that game.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you had to miss today for McManus, but
yeah,
Michael lost the possession when you strip sacked fumbled, causing him not to get any points.
Well, I was actually debating going for 2 when I scored the touchdown to tie, just because having missed an extra point in the first game and missing a field goal in this game, I was like, man, what is he going to make it or not?
We talked about that on the broadcast.
Right when you shanked that one, I was like, oh, I've got McManus. I was about to say, and then sure enough, you missed it. I was like, I've missed 3 of those in 3 SSFA games already, and I don't. I don't know why you seem to miss those ones.
So the last time we talked, Mike, you were talking about. You said you didn't want any punt fumbles.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you're right.
And I had 2. I didn't remember it until looking back. But I had 2 of those in the game we played as well. Were you talking?
Yeah, we both had them actually. I look back at the box score, and you scored a touchdown because my guy fumbled it. I think at the 12 or something like that. And then Barrios fumbled one, and I took that one in, and that gave me a 2-score lead. And I think at the end, with like a minute left to go, Barrios fumbled a punt or a kick return or something.
That second one didn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's always hard to beat the same team twice. I don't know what any of you guys think about that.
Yeah,
well, if you have
it's
an
adage.
If you have a really good team and they have a really bad team, I don't find it too easy at all. But usually don't get to play those teams
easier
twice.
just to beat them once. So
Yeah.
I guess.
I just to being honest, I don't know that I believe in that, but what I do believe is that I think once a team gets a championship, just gets one under their belt, they'll play and more than that, I guess, coach in a way that is required to win a championship game. So anytime until I get my first one, if I'm going up against anybody who's on this call right now, all of you guys have won championships in all of these leagues. It's going to take one, I think, to get to the point where I feel comfortable in these games. I've played in 2 now in 2 years and played in a semifinal game and still played way too cautiously and not going out there to win. I'm playing not to lose. So I think that's what happened basically in the second half in this game too. Kind of made some dumb calls. I had a long gain on a defender X, and threw straight to a 6 instead of a 4. If I throw it over there to Devonta, or if Rashid is in there, that's a 27-yard gain. Instead, it's flipping the field one more time. I keep giving him possessions there in the second half. And, that's not what a championship coach does. So
I don't think you should have any regrets, Michael. I watched the whole game pretty much except for the first half of the first drive, and I thought you called a great game. And the defender X came up on that one, but he's also the guy not being double teamed on that play, and that keeps Josh Allen's must runs in play. And you've got an undouble teamed wide receiver. The role just came up, defender X on that role. So
I think that this team overperformed this year, and I think they kind of overperformed this evening. We converted on a lot of third downs that we, probably shouldn't have. If there's, one regret that I have was not being that strip sack was a killer. Any coach will tell you that give me 2 scores and the game changes completely with 2 possessions. Even if it's in the first half, you feel so much more comfortable in a situation like that. I was glad to get those points just before, the half, but I just, any coach will tell you 2 scores. That's what you want. And that was just, completely deflating. Then you're kind of hoping on hope that, that his Mahomes card is the same Mahomes card that I had in Autumn Wind that just basically floundered for the entire year and threw picks all over the place. And it's like, maybe he's going to run into one too, but he picked on my 4, and I should have double teamed. But I tell you what's crazy about this, and that's why I'm really kicking myself, is that I played too much on players that weren't going to be impactful. His tight end Ricci, I literally never heard of in my life. I'm sitting there double teaming this guy. It's like, what? I mean, look, if he catches it, he catches it. Okay, you need to target the guys that are going to do some damage, and that's Watson, and it's going to be Lockhart. And I was just guessing. I don't even think I had, but maybe 1 or 2 correct double teams for the entire night. That was pretty atrocious.
I think I had 2 completions when you did correctly double team too.
Yeah.
So that was just a bad luck.
One of them on a touchdown.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
I wouldn't change much as far as your coaching style, Mike. I think you coached well enough to win. It just didn't bounce your way.
Yeah. Well,
you had the lead for 58 minutes of the game.
That's happened to me twice now in 3 games too. So it's just down the stretch. I'm just way too conservative. If I just start thinking, I mean, look, when you got it with 4 and I caught that huge break at midfield, and it's like immediately I just go to running and I expect the Cards to get this thing done, and instead that's where you've got to go aggressive. You've got to put yourself in field goal range. Then you get that 2-score margin, and you put this thing away. But instead, you're coaching scared, and you're like, no. I'm going to take time. I'm going to put this on my defense. And how many drives did you go through? My defense was like Swiss cheese. If I basically stopped blitzing because I couldn't get to the quarterback. The only advantage that I had.
You about that, Mike, because I felt like the first game we played, I felt like you did change that up, and you used the blitz a lot less this game than you did in our first game.
Well, so I looked at your personnel, saw 7s across, and thought, well, that's going to be a total waste of time. I don't think safety blitzing is going to accelerate anything, and I got beat on 2, long gains. Now, granted, they were on a deuce and a 12. I think. I mean, I got hit pretty good by some of those snake eyes rolls, those 2-12 margins. I get it, that happens. But again, that's one of those things that it's like, how often is lightning going to strike? You cannot go outside of the game that got you here. This is a club that had 64 sacks the entire year, and I bet you I safety blitzed only on half. I mean, I'll tell you, that check mark was probably on 80% of the time for my league this year. And it's like the times that it wasn't on were the same ones over and over again. That these defense just ran through the offense just ran through my defense like Swiss cheese. I don't care if you have a 3-3-5 out there. This defense isn't good enough to hold up on something like that, especially when your corners are only a 4-5. They're not. I mean, that defense is not built for a stand around. You've got to start moving players around, and if you don't get to the quarterback, I'm not helping them by not safety blitzing. So I played outside of my game for the entire season, and this is what you get. It's what you get.
Well, you kicked my butt last week, so I like Zeb said, don't be too hard on yourself.
Well, I would also say, you seem to be in contention here a lot in a lot of these leagues now.
Some of it's good drafting.
I joined Somifa, and
that's nice. I appreciate that, and that is a great sign. I mean, to be in 2 championships in a calendar year, and in a semifinal in 1 year. And here's the thing. I mean, if you look across, now Prescott's terrible this year, and a great man, Tom Cook, once told me that either you're competing or you're rebuilding. And I wasn't stupid enough to go into the season thinking that SSFA was going to play well. So basically, I just started moving some old talent. We're going to rebuild. We'll try to come back here in like a year or 2 and see what happens. But, Samifa, I've got Tua, Allen here in this league, Mahomes and Autumn Wind, and Dak in the other leagues. So, that's my 4 leagues, and that's my 4 quarterbacks. So who's going to cry about that? That's fantastic.
Well, what I was getting at too is, in 14 seasons in Somifa, and I don't know, maybe 13 SSFA, and however long Somps has been around, for me, I struggled in those leagues getting to the championship, even though I like the format better. I think it's better for my coaching because I don't have to have as much defense. I can do more offense. Right. I've made 3 total championships, I think. So it's not easy.
No kidding.
There's a lot of really good coaches, and
there are. There are.
I would say.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say. There's 2 or 3 coaches probably have beat me more than everyone else combined. So in the playoffs, because I just always run into them. It's not like you just having some bad game. You went up against a really good coach, and I think what these other guys are saying too. Your team is not the type of team on paper I would expect to have, on offense in particular, a very good season. So maybe pretty good in the 2018 league, but not like I wouldn't put money on you to win the championship,
Yeah. All right. I appreciate that. That's nice of you. I do appreciate it. And like I said, to me, this league here, and I'm sorry I'm sucking all the oxygen out of this, but this league, I think, is one of the most underrated that we have because I think it mixes the best of both worlds. Because like in Somifa, I think we talked about this after some of these games. Somifa, And I love that league. I mean, it's the granddaddy of all leagues, right? Everybody knows that every coach from top to bottom is always really, really good in that league. But it's a 24-team league, and there is a tendency to kind of build some super teams there, where you're just basically say 5 and 6. Like, it's hard to see a 0 there. Some teams don't have 4s. I mean, it's just all 5s and 6s, lines just up and down, straight up 7s. You can build a super team there, okay?
But don't have
you're
the
still playing
mismatches.
But you're still playing with like an average defense, right? We're all still playing with the draft cards. Where you go to Autumn Wind, you got like a 30-team league. It's hard to build a super team there because there are 30 teams, and trading is kind of wacky in that league to begin with. But you're playing with those crazy defense cards that gives us these crazy scores that look like 12-10, and that's competitive. It's kind of boring, right? But this league is different. 28 teams. And it's a little bit more difficult to build that super team, but it has all the great rules, dump off pass, everything like Samif. But I love this league. I just think this one is a completely underrated league. And so the fact that you're right to take this team with this level of personnel to the finals, and I'm not going to say last week was my Super Bowl, but that was a nice win. But if you look back at that one, and Dennis knows this too, God, like literally every roll in that game, every 2, every 12 went my way. No, to tell me that this team, if I'd have known this team was going to go 13-3, I would have made more trades to fix that line. I just thought this was like a 10-6 or an 11-5 team, and I was just continuing to build. I had no idea we were going to get this far. So I'm honored to get there, and to take Zeb down to the last second of the ball game. That's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, this is the largest league that uses the modern rules, including the dump off.
Correct.
I'll take that.
Yeah, 100%, man.
It's
Michael,
fun.
you beat
Facing
Dennis
zeros.
in a huge game when he had a great team. So
Yes, he did.
There's 26 of us that didn't get as far as you did. That we're broadcasting the game that you were competing for a championship in. So definitely congratulations.
Listen, Dennis and Tom taught me this game. Now, listening to Tom's broadcast and getting a chance to see you guys play in championships, Zeb, I knew Zeb's name years ago. And, of course, I've known Nathan, too. I've talked with him a lot about this game, and Ed Barrow. So by all the broadcasts that I've seen, I figured out 95% of this game just by watching you guys play and watching you guys talk about this. So if the personnel lines up and the moon and stars line up, I'll get another shot at this, and I'll get one of these rings. I will. I like I said, I was inches away from this one. It was eerily, if you watch the SSFA game, almost identical, basically, giving the other team the ball at about the 20-yard line, and he needs a touchdown. He scores it with 8 seconds to go. This one here, he gets the field goal with a second to go and sends it to overtime. So, no, there's nothing to be sad about. I'm disappointed. I would love to have had one, especially against a coach like Zeb. But if anybody deserves the championship, it's him, and now he's got 2 of them. So that's fantastic. Very, very happy for him. Very happy.
Well,
yeah, nice job,
even if you've got the better team, Mike, most of the time the odds are you're not going to win the championship because even if you're a 60% chance to win going to the post, you still got to win 3 games. And
it's tough to win 3 games in a row. I mean, like last year that SSFA run, Nathan knows this. I mean, to get there, that was an 11 seed last year in SSFA. All right, and I looked it up, and no SSFA. I think 9 was the furthest, or the deepest seed ever to make it to a championship, and that was Jay Villing. And I took that team against I can't remember, Washington or somebody like that. But then to get to the championship, I have to basically climb over Mount Rushmore. I have to get past Tom, who's the number 1 seed, and then you have to get past Dennis, the number 2 seed. So in addition to playing the top teams, you need breaks too. On top of that, that was a magical run. It was so fun.
And
so fun.
That's right. You've knocked me out of these last 2 playoffs, Michael. I'm coming for you.
Back to back. I know, it's ridiculous. This game was the last game that we had was absurd though. Dennis, all the breaks literally went my way. That was a crazy, crazy game. All the rolls, but you need that kind of stuff. The last thing you want are one of these games that are marred by like the Claude Turcotte game 2 years ago where Tannehill throws like 6 interceptions in the game, or snap fumbles, punt return fumbles. This game was as clean as a whistle, and the only turnover was caused by the fact that he's got a great linebacker and I've got a trash line, and he didn't even have to safety blitz to get there. he didn't. I don't remember him safety blitzing, but maybe 5% in this game, and he still got to my quarterback 3 times. If you're really truly competing, you've got to improve your line, and I just didn't do it. And again, this is the kind of stuff that makes me think, look, if you're going for it, man, you got to trade your draft picks and you put the best team out there. He found my weaknesses and deserved this.
Well, how about this? I've told you this multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion that will help you if you're looking for something maybe even more than the line. Get yourself another good back. Do not run out of carries, because you seem to know how to coach the appropriate situations with the appropriate personnel. But when you don't have the personnel, you can't do it anymore. So
killed me in an autumn win. Yeah,
Well, he does.
I told you, Gus Edwards, like you got to get one. You got to get one more guy.
Yeah,
to run. If you have to run it 40 times in a game, you want to be able to do it.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
I think that's less of a problem in this league because he's got all those carries with Josh Allen too.
Yeah, no, it helps. I just,
but I think you want. He's
talking about other leagues. Yeah, no doubt.
I would say, you want to have at least 35 carries.
Yeah, Nathan makes a good point though, because I had some similar scenarios working for me in Samifa this year to everything you've talked about. I had Miles Sanders, but nobody else was even qualified to run unless it was 2nd and 2 or less or 3rd down. Also had a bad offensive line. Had a good Mahomes card, but I didn't, like you're talking about. I thought I was a 9-8 team, maybe 10-7, and I was. I got to the semifinals, but I didn't expect that. If I'd have known that I was going to be in that game, I'd have wanted the computer to get me an offensive line and definitely a second running back. But, I just
I've seen
felt like, you make the playoffs and you just play the run. You ride the horse that you drew in that rodeo, and hopefully, you do like you did and get all the way to the championship game. So.
I tell you about Zeb, though. Dennis had told me, and I know he is a premier defensive coach. I'll tell you right now, I'm staring at his 3-4, and it's like, oh mercy. I mean, it's like it's just a pure guessing game on what he's going to do. He moved his guys around so well. It's like I see 3 of them out there. I mean, he positions his players so well and mixes things up so well. It's like that guy is so dangerous with a 3-4. And flooding flats, and even on the times that I kind of pick the right flat, oops, there's the 6, and I get a white die that kills me there. He knows what he's doing. I mean, he doesn't make mistakes. Pure and simple, he just does not make mistakes. So.
Yeah, he moves his 13 guys on defense around really well.
Yeah, he does. He really, really, really does. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, if I had to do it over again, maybe I would have gone back to bread and butter and safety blitzed and hope some of my guys could have gotten past that 7. But, I mean, it is what it is. It took a big old Henry run.
Yeah, your linebackers were matched up against the center. So, I mean, that's the center and the blocking back. So that's the time he does have that wall of 7s.
That's
you
right.
have to, hope to land on one of the 2 favorable matchups instead of the 4 not so favorable. And Tim brought up a good point during the game is that even if you're facing a 7, if you can get your guys up to a 12 or over, you got a decent chance of bringing them down.
Yeah.
So, maybe a little more safety blitzing would have helped. But, again, I didn't really see any flaws in your coaching. And, as a matter of fact, I pointed out that, what separates the good coaches from the great coaches is changing their calls up. And I thought you did a good job of that today, not doing the same thing over and over again predictably, either on offense or defense. Zeb could probably speak to that. I didn't find you very predictable. And I thought you both coaches did a fantastic coaching job. And congratulations to both of you again.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was a really great game.
2-time champion, Zeb. I think you're the first 2-time champion.
He is.
Oh, no, Nathan. Nathan's also won 2.
No respect.
We got 2 of the 2 times.
No respect. No respect at all.
Nathan
what, are you kidding me?
2017, 2019, and now Zeb's won in 2018 and 2022.
Don't you have 2, Dennis?
I do not. I have 1, and I made it to the Super Bowl last year, lost, and I got knocked out in the semifinals this year. So maybe we'll get that second one of these days.
Well, good. I'm glad I got you on something.
I do have the distinction of winning double digits every year and making the playoffs every year. So I got that going.
Humble brag.
So I'll be back. I'll be back one of these years. So.
Hey, if it's
Well,
any
thanks.
consolation with this loss, I am now officially, 66 and 66 in this league. So I'm playing. This is the only league, I think, in all of the leagues that I'm playing that I'm actually 500. I know that's a weird thing to say, but I guess I can close it out with that.
Awesome.
Well, you're pretty set in most of those leagues, I'd say. So
Well,
that'll be an upturn here real quick.
I hope so. I'm really looking forward to Samifa. I think that league is going to be a lot of fun. I think there's and to what you were saying, I've got a team there basically with Brees Hall and Swift and Tua and some good wide receivers there. My line is getting better too. So yeah, that one is going to be built for speed. That one's going to be fun, Nathan. But you taught me that, and Barrow too has taught me that as well. And Tom, they've all said the same thing. If you don't have running backs that scare the other team, you can't win. I mean, you can't win, or you just got to have a Sterling line that it kind of doesn't matter, but even then it's going to catch up with you. It's all about what Glenn said. It's having them guess run when you throw a pass and vice versa. And if you don't have the running backs to make them call run, it's hard to win.
And the attempts, like Nathan was saying.
And that's kind of why I like Sanders' card, because, I mean, attempts with him and Derrick Henry's pretty much the same way. So, but Zeb, it was an honor. I took you almost. It was almost there, buddy. It was almost there. But it was a great game, and I'm glad there weren't any crazy turnovers that marred it. Congratulations. And man, you deserved it. Hopefully we'll get a chance to play again. But it was really fun talking to you after the broadcast last week. You're also a class act as well. And that's been what's been so nice about this. Dennis really introduced me to this game. And I've just met so many friends across all of these leagues. And I'm very, very appreciative. This has been a very fun hobby, and I look forward to continuing.
Well, thanks for staying up late tonight, too. I know it's really late for you, Mike.
Oh, well, I hope that's okay with you, too. I just felt like, you know what, let's just go. I got to start playing an SSFA and start losing all of my games. I got plenty more losses to go. Let's just get this one in and not drag this one out. And that was very kind of everybody to be able to join on the broadcast this evening, too. Hopefully it was a fun game for y'all.
This is when Dennis and I usually start our games when we play. So
yeah,
probably play 10 to 20 games after 9:30, I'd say.
Well, I mean, this is good. I'm on the West Coast too, so I was just trying to find a time that would work for everybody.
Yeah. I this whole West Coast bias thing, man, it's just for the birds. What does it matter with this league?
Let's go. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up, folks.
Thanks,
congratulations
everybody.
to Zeb Strong, our 2022 Strat28 Super Bowl champion. Nice job, Michael. Thank you guys for joining. Tim,
thanks, everybody.
Play-by-play, and Nathan, thanks for jumping in too.
Congrats.
All right. Y'all take care now.